Welcome to Soapdish. Hi, Luann. How are you?
Hey, Mark, I'm doing great. How are you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing pretty well.
Good. It's a little chilly here in Florida, isn't it?
Yeah, we're both in Florida today, and it's chilly,
Yeah,
no
it's like-
doubt.
I know.
It's kind of funny though, because it's all relevant. Because, um, I was sitting outside on our porch here the other night, and it was 50 something or low 50s, whatever it was, and I'm thinking to myself, this is a nice. If it was this in Minnesota today, I would be tickled pink.
I know.
So-
It would feel like a nice fall day.
It would. It would be a nice fall day. So
It's always worse somewhere else, and
That's right.
and we feel bad for the listeners or whoever might be in California.
Yes.
The fires that they're having in their areas.
so
Awful.
sad.
So
Yeah.
sad.
Very, very tragic. I was watching that on TV last night on cable, and wow, it's unbelievable what's
Yeah.
happening there. And
Yeah, family
all right, one of the
home-
weather guys said they were getting winds gusting up to 100 miles an hour
Oh,
for a
my
while.
gosh.
They said hurricane,
Yeah.
type winds. So
Yeah, friends and
Yeah.
our friends that are out there, and our prayers are with them.
that's right.
Very sad.
Thank you. Well said, Luann. All right, let's talk our soaps. Let's start with
Yes.
Young and the Restless.
Okay.
Ian Ward, he's kind of one of my soap favorites right
Mm-hmm.
now. I like him as an actor. I don't know why. I think he plays a good evil. I think that's
Oh, he
what it is.
does. He plays like he's been reformed and he's the good preacher. Not a preacher man, but like a deacon that he's there to console you and read from the good Bible and
Right.
and the evil that's behind him. And Mariah she was not letting him push her around, and it was interesting seeing her interaction with him this week. And he would, start talking, trying to give her the how he's reformed, and I know it's hard to forgive me, but the good Lord would forgive me. And Mariah's like, I'm not falling for any of this crap. You have not changed. You're a liar.
Right. Which he is. I mean,
He does it very well.
He acts pretty well being reformed, but today was interesting when he was in his hotel room where they're hid out in Genoa City there. And Nick knocked on the door, and we'll talk more about that later, but how Ian grabs his Bible and goes to the door.
to meet him at the door. It's like,
The
oh.
religious man.
Yeah. The writers are doing a good job with his character, making him very evil and crazy on Jordan. Is his little cohort, and she's trying to see where he's going to do something for her, because she's been really doing everything for him so he could get back at the Neumans, as she keeps saying, what are you doing for me?
Right.
And my quest with Claire. He's like, just be patient, my dear, Jordan, just be patient. I will be helping you. And, and she's like, I don't think you are.
Yeah. Today you could tell she's kind of about had it with him
Yeah,
in terms of patience.
Yeah, her patience is running thin because
Yep.
Jordan has her own plans, and she's just as evil as Ian. I don't know which is more evil. I think Ian, maybe because he is just he can hide it so well, or he tries to. Where Jordan, it's just like, she gets
can't,
angry
yeah.
and she reacts.
She can't even hardly play con man where he can,
Right.
Yeah,
And so the storyline between those two, when and if they turn on each other, you can already see Jordan is turning on him a little bit, because we'll talk about what she did with Sharon when we get to that point.
Okay.
But she's already kind of ensuring some things that in case he doesn't follow through with what he's going to do for her.
Right. All right, so Ian's master plan here is to try to get into his long lost daughter Tessa's life.
Mariah's. Oh, you think Tessa's life?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
because Tessa's his daughter.
Did they say that?
They haven't said that. That's Mark Mark's been
prediction.
saying that for a while because I think that's what we're going to find out. I'm
okay.
sorry. I should have restated that.
Yeah, because he's coming around Mariah, because when he was talking with Jordan, he was kind of saying, I had Mariah in my corner, years ago, and she's the one I'm going to work on, and if I could do something to Sharon, then Mariah is going to be mourning that, and then I'll be there to catch her when she's falling and be there to help her. And
right.
so, but if your little prediction with Tessa,
that was and it was probably I may have dreamed up that I said that to you, but
No,
it was in my head that was
Who
that's
knows?
where the story's going.
Yeah. Who knows? Because Mariah was one that he kind of kidnapped her back years ago from Sharon when the twins when Mariah and her sister were born.
Right.
And but you never know. And how he came to Tessa's rescue, when he had given her the poison on New Year's Eve, and then he was there with a little inhaler to bring her back to life, and Mariah didn't buy that either, that he was saving
her. But that was
her.
part of what was convincing me, and I was kind of convinced even before that Tessa's his daughter, because he talks about his daughter, and I don't think it's Mariah.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. You never know.
And then Jordan, as you have mentioned already, Luann, her plan here is to get back at the Neumans. And, it's Victor mainly, but she hates all the Neumans.
She hates all the Neumans.
Yeah.
But Victor mainly, and I think it will be, she and Claire have had some interaction. Claire didn't know it was Jordan because she had one of her wigs on. But it'll be interesting how Jordan goes about going after the Neumans.
Right.
And Victor.
So Sharon is being held captive. I don't know where she is. Do you? I mean, she's being chained to a pipe in this old...
Yeah, she is back in that little area where their daughter was, when Cameron kidnapped their daughter and took her... It's like under under the ground, under the sidewalk
like a
or something.
Shipyard or something? It almost looks like
if it's a shipyard or where the cisterns are, or water system.
Yeah, and I kind of vaguely remember that, Luann. I just don't remember all the details around.
So
that,
the key part here was Jordan was Ian gave Jordan the directions that you take the car with Sharon in it, throw her in the take it down to the river, drive it in. So she's dead. Do it kind of like we did with Heather. And Jordan was smart. Like we said, she's keeping Sharon as insurance in case Ian doesn't follow through. So Jordan took her to this area, and but she did take her car and put it in the river. So Chance, called Nick and said, "Hey, we found Sharon's car. It's in the river." And so far, they haven't said that they haven't found Sharon in the water yet. And so Sharon wakes up and she's down there. Well, today, and I thought we were all done with Cameron, and now she was hallucinating again.
I know
that she was talking with Cameron. It's like, really, we're doing this again?
I'm so sick of that storyline.
I know
with that, because that, it's just kind of one of those stories that it's just overdone. It's like, give it up already.
Exactly. And Ian is after Jordan's like, how come I'm not hearing any news reports about Sharon? What's happened?
Right.
And Jordan is saying, no, I did exactly like you told me to. And I like how she said it. Sharon is exactly where she needs to be. And so if he does question her, she's like, well, she's not in the water. But
right. Yeah,
and
right. Chose her words carefully.
Yeah. At some point, and I hope if the writers can stretch this out a little bit, or will someone hear Sharon? And I think Nick is going to come to her rescue again.
How do you think that'll happen? Do you have any thoughts?
No, my only thought is, will Nick, if he figures it out somehow, or, right now they don't know Jordan and Ian are in cahoots yet.
Right.
So
they know about Ian. They don't know about that crazy Aunt Jordan's teamed up.
Because Victor his PI guy is watching Ian, and so if his comings and goings from the hotel. So unless they see Jordan coming from that room, right now they have no idea because Jordan has been staying in the room, so that'll be interesting.
Yeah. All right. So Victor, as you mentioned, is after him and Ian, and he's found his PI brings him to the house where Sharon and Victor lay the law down and basically threatened him. And
I know. Victor was pushing his weight around with Ian.
Yeah, he was.
And then Nikki heard voices, and Nikki comes down, and it's like she was shocked. It's like, what is he doing in our home?
Right.
And she said, after Ian left, Nikki said, Victor, I hope you're not going to take Ian on by yourself. And he didn't really answer her. I think Victor's going to put it on himself that I'm the one that has to take care of Ian.
Yep, I think you're right. Before we leave Victor, and you had put it very nicely about the wildfires in California, and when I was prepping for the show for our podcast here, I found that Eric Braden, who's Victor Neuman on the Young and Restless, put out a video, and he had to evacuate his own home.
Oh, he did
and
too?
it was he had video taken from his backyard by his pool, and it looks like a beautiful, just a beautiful, the surrounding mountains and everything are around it. But all you see is flames and stuff and fire, in the background. So,
that Pacific Palisades area is really getting.
But it just
destroyed.
kind of becomes real when it's an actor or somebody, not that we know him personally, but been watching him for years, and he just seems like the kind of guy you'd like to. I've always said I'd like to party with. I'd like to have a beer, or
I think he'd be fun to talk with.
I think so too.
I think he would have a dry sense of humor, kind of.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Okay. So then Nate. So Nate today meets his long lost brother Damian. And he found him, and he's trying to figure out what he's all about, because he did he hired a PI too, and had him Damian checked out. Nate did, and he learned some things that were kind of questionable about him. So he's today he ran him through a little questionnaire to figure out if he could find out more about him, about Damian.
Yeah. And I thought it was interesting that Damian, he said, hey, you've looked at my, my job record. I've had 5 different jobs, like in the last, year or two. And he said, in my qualifications, he said, they're not exactly what Winter's,
right.
Winter's quality. And he said, so what is the real reason why you're, so, it'll be interesting to see where Nate takes that,
Right.
From that on, and at what point will he share with Damian that he is his half brother, and Amy, Damian's mother, it'll be nice to see how her interaction with Damian will be, because she's a very loving mother, but if something happened in their relationship that soured, and hopefully. Because I know she doesn't want to share with him that she's dying. So it'll be interesting to see if Damian will be responsive to her and, nice to her.
And I mean, I'm kind of under the understanding that his mother hasn't been in his life since, we don't know when, do we? I mean,
no, it's been a while, a long time.
Sounds like years, and maybe since he was a baby or little,
Yeah, because she's lost touch with him, and
Right.
I don't know if he was with her, like you say, while he was young and growing up, and then after he turned 18, he left, and then she didn't hear from him. That's what I'm not sure of.
Right. Yeah. Right. Exactly. Just sounds like it's been a long time. But, All right. Any closing thoughts on the Y&R, or should we move on?
Yeah. The only comment I have is I think it was one of the earlier episodes this week, when Phyllis she was talking with Billy, I think it was, and then in the restaurant, coffee shop, and then Summer came in, and she was like shocked. She said, hey, Sharon has disappeared, and I've talked with Chance, and the family is worried about her. And Phyllis, Phyllis says she wants to turn a corner and start anew this year. And first thing she says is, oh, that's typical Sharon. She probably has left, it's not like she'll be gone for several months, but she's just gone. And now she'll come back and then, oh, everybody's so happy that Sharon's okay again. And then she'll say, oh, but I am letting it all go.
Yeah.
And it's like,
sure you
Phyllis,
are.
you still have a hard time letting it go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Phyllis never really lets go.
But I hope they keep Ian and Jordan around for a while and I'd like them to make it even more plot lines and storylines because, they haven't Jordan hasn't pulled in anything with the Neumans or Claire yet. And I hope they make them into some good stories and not just some, little storyline. And then all of a sudden they figured out who it is and it's like, and then it's over.
It's over,
because like you said, Ian is a good character and I like that they brought him back because
me too.
I when they show highlights from the past, I kind of remember him because
I do.
And how he interacted with Mariah and, what influence he had on her. And, I don't quite understand the whole influence thing he had with Sharon. But when Nikki was talking about Ian today, with her experience with him, it was like, oh, man, this was a bad guy because he did some bad things to her, too.
Yeah, he did.
So Victor will keep an eye on him, but his PIs are only as good as... they sometimes leave a lot to be desired.
Yeah, he's funny because that guy's got more PIs and stuff on retainer. But
yeah.
I got my security team. We'll get him on it.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, let's move into Bold and Beautiful.
Okay. Yeah, I'm
Lots
ready for
happening
that.
there, too.
Yes, a lot is happening here.
All right, let's start out with Ridge and the Forresters are still really upset with Carter, Hope, and now Brooke, after she agreed to take over as the CEO at Forrester Creations. And it's not sitting well with the whole Forrester clan.
Oh, no.
Your thoughts?
Steffi is very upset. And, Brooke tried talking with Ridge the other day, trying to explain to him why she took over CEO, that, she wants to give it back to Forresters, and she hoped by doing this in this position, Ridge really didn't want anything to do with it. He had no time for it.
Yeah. And that surprised me a little bit. I didn't expect, I thought she was going to be able to get back in his good graces, but then I thought, well, that's too quick. They aren't gonna change that storyline that quick, probably.
And I think to him it was just all words. It's like no, your actions show something else, and no, you've sided with Hope and Carter, and you're you're a Logan and you're against the Forresters. And,
right.
So he didn't bow to her. I was surprised. I thought he might listen, and he didn't.
He didn't, yeah. No, not at all. It's interesting because it hit me the other day, Luann, because I've been trying to think of who does Ridge really remind me of? He reminds me of somebody else. And he actually, it hit me, and I'm like, oh, Ridge is an older version of Liam. As far as flip-flopping from girls.
He is.
He can't make up his mind. He flip-flops from one to the other, and he falls in and out of love about every 10 minutes.
Yes.
It's like, geez,
It's like he has to always have some woman with him.
Yep.
He just can't be by himself.
And he can't go 10 minutes without. He's over to the other one's house and, rekindling that relationship again.
Yeah, because, you're going into the next one. You're talking about Ridge falling in love with Taylor. It's kind of like been there and done that so many times. When they started doing that again, it was just like, are you kidding me? It's like, Taylor, shame on you. And Brooke said it to Ridge. She said, well, I know you're with Taylor. And she said, so you're going for second best again. And I thought,
right. And then she turned around and walked out.
And I thought, that's exactly what it is.
That's
and
exactly
I thought,
what he's doing.
Yeah, and I thought, Ridge, really, shame on you. And
shame on Taylor, too.
And shame on Taylor. Because she knows that. She knows Ridge is going to go back. And Brooke,
And she knows she's second fiddle. She's always been second fiddle.
She always
so
has
when
been.
Brooke and Ridge have a falling out, then he runs right back to Taylor. She's second fiddle.
Yes. And, and I thought, Brooke, you need to find somebody else. It's like, but, her only goal now again, when she's talking with Hope, is to win Ridge back. And, I can't believe he's with Taylor again, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, really, writers, is this the best you can do? You're putting them back together again. And then, then we know down the road he'll get together with Brooke again when all this clears out,
But I'm with you when you made the comment about the writers. I don't know. Sometimes I'm like, what? I mean, can you guys introduce something else or bring a new love into this guy's life or this girl's life? I mean, it's like,
all
it just gets regurgitated.
Yeah, because
First,
it's like,
I watch it, so
I know.
I guess it works.
It works. They don't care.
They don't care as long as I'm watching. What the hell? Yeah. So today, Luann, we find out that Steffi has a plan to retake over Forrester Creations. It's a takeover and a re-takeover.
Yes. And she is not sharing a lot of the details with Ridge or Eric because she said, I don't want you to be involved in, get it too involved in this because I've got it under control. And the only one she's really shared it with is kind of Finn, what she's kind of doing. And, but she said, I'm going to make it so that, Hope and Carter are going to have a big fall. They won't see it coming.
Right.
And we'll get Forrester Creations back.
Yeah. And I think we know what that plan is now because Daphne Rose shows up here the other day at Forrester Creations and wants to see Hope and Carter. And so they bring her up into their office, and Daphne Rose introduces this new fragrance that she's
Forrester.
She's some high muckety muck.
I know because she doesn't make appointments. That's how she said it to
right.
them.
I don't make appointments.
I don't make appointments. And then she said, I only have a few minutes here. And then she whips around her scarf, and the fragrance is just floating in the air. And Carter and Hope are mesmerized by it. And she leaves them wanting more.
Right.
And then she goes over to Steffi's. And pretty much she's saying to Steffi that Carter is putty in my hands.
Yep.
And so we know what her next step is.
Yep. And Steffi's plan is to have Daphne get Carter to fall for her, Daphne. And I don't
seduce
know if
him.
Fall in love or just get him in a compromising position.
Yeah, Mark, seduce him. That's what she's looking to do.
Right. No, I know. I knew that's what she meant, but I'm not sure if, you know what I mean? To get him to fall out of love with Hope or just get him in, probably just to get him in a compromising position.
Yes, maybe that way. Yes.
Which would be the romance that you're referencing.
And then to have Hope catch them in the act.
Right.
That's how they'll arrange it.
Right.
So Hope will be, because Steffi's goal, because Steffi still believes Carter is a good person. He's just been swayed by Hope. And her goal is to bring Hope really down.
Big time down.
Crashing down.
Yep. So I'm going to throw a monkey into this whole storyline because we've talked a little bit about the writers.
Yes.
And creating new storylines. I've got a twist that if I was the writer of The Bold and Beautiful that I would do right now based on where they are.
Yeah.
Is I would have Steffi's plan backfire on her. And Daphne Rose ends up taking Dr. Finn for a ride around the circus.
Oh, that's a good prediction. Oh, we got to figure. Yeah.
Wouldn't that be good?
That would be good. Oh. Steffi wouldn't see that coming.
And then she catches them. Steffi walks in and Finn and Daphne Rose are in a compromising position. That's the storyline that I would go with.
Yeah, that would be a good one. That would be a good one.
Yep.
That would be good. Hey, and the line and the storyline with Electra and Remy and those.
Yes.
I was hoping that would continue on a little bit. Remy was playing a good evil character too. Bad boy.
Bad guy. Yeah. Bad guy.
But I was surprised that how quickly that kind of came together, but maybe they're going to keep Remy around because he's not been arrested or anything. Maybe he will continue to.
Because he fled, right? And
Right, he
they
just
never
fled,
caught him as far
fled
as we
on
know.
foot. So, maybe he'll still come around. He won't do the AI stuff anymore online, with Electra being in nude photos, but he might start to stalk her a little bit. Maybe because I would like them to keep Remy around a little bit because there could be more going on.
There's
with
more.
that.
Yeah, there's more story you could run with there.
That
for sure.
she's feeling like, oh, he's safe. I'm safe, and she's really not.
Right.
Yeah. And then before we go,
Okay.
we have to talk about Luna and Bill. I can't believe you didn't put this on.
Oh God.
It's like, are you kidding me? That she's in prison or jail, wherever she is. She's shackled up, and she confesses to Bill too. And she said, "Why did you want me to confess again?" And he said, "You know why." And it's like we're all kind of going, "No, I don't know why." And then all of a sudden, the jail personnel bring her outside, take off all her shackles, and there's Bill standing. And I thought you and I talked offline with this. I thought she was having a dream. This really could be
I did
happening.
too. I kind of wondered about that as well.
Yes, and then it's like, Bill, who has that kind of pull that a person who has murdered 2 people, confessed to it, can not serve prison time? It's like, are you kidding me?
I said that to my wife when we were both watching it, and I said, "Wow!" I said, "Bill's got a lot of influence with the justice system out there in California."
Yeah. So, and I thought, yes, Bill has a tender heart, for her because he had a tough life growing up. He feels she has to. But it's one of those things. It's like, Bill, are you kind of being sucked in? Because I think she tells you what she wants you to hear, and and so that she can be on house arrest. She has a little ankle bracelet on, and he's like, you cannot go anywhere, and so today, when his son and Electra were there.
Yeah, you can see where this is headed.
Yeah. She made a little noise, she hit the plant. Yeah. And Bill's like, you can't have that happen. And I thought, well, it'll be interesting to see when and who is the first person who finds her there. And, and I think of her mother, Poppy, unless Poppy doesn't visit her at, jail or prison, it's like, she's going to be wondering, where is she? My daughter, you know? So.
Yeah. The other thing is, she has the hots for Will. She's going to have the hots for Will.
I think she will. I think she will too. Yeah. Even at some point.
Yeah. Because you could see that. I mean, they're setting that up with the way she's smiling and all googly-eyed when she sees him in the house.
Yes, and Will even said to Electra today, he said, my dad is all alone in that big house, and I don't go over and visit him as much as I should. He said, I didn't
see that.
He said, I should pop in there sometimes just to visit with him. And I thought, there you go. That's where it's going to happen.
That's when she'll pop out.
Yeah.
Right.
She'll be sitting at the pool.
Right. and she'll have a bathing suit on or something. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, we could write this show, Luann.
Oh, I know, Mark. We could have some good storylines, too.
Yeah, we could. All right. Until we dish again, keep it sudsy.
Oh, yes.
And we are out.